Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Best Advice Ever channel, where the best advice is no advice, but we might get a little bit of wisdom. So, in the thumbnail of the little picture and stuff like that, you can see my little setup that I have for my morning breakfast. It's a little cold outside, not too bad. I mean, it's like probably in the 60s right now, maybe high 50s, low 60s. A little. Got some things in my eyes, stuff like that. Anytime I sleep longer than 6 hours, I get really tired and really stiff and stuff. But anyway, not the point of the story. The point of the story is I have got a lot of changes I got to make in my life, and change is difficult, Change is really difficult for me sometimes. But when I make up my mind, I've made up my mind. That's it. There's no going back from that. I have charted a course, and there are times when I chart my course, I'm like, oh, I want to hold the brakes. I want to pull back. I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't the best idea. And I'm like, well, this is what we've decided, and we're going full speed ahead. This is the course that we're going. There is no turning back. And the thing is that you can always change your mind. You can turn back. But I made a deal with myself many times. When I was younger, I used to buy things and have regrets of buying them, and then I would take them back and get the money back, right? Not trying to make money off of it, as some people do. It's just what I did. I would buy lots of stuff and then I would take it back because I had buyer's regret, buyer's remorse. Because I was trying to fill something emotionally with a thing. Logically, I know that's not going to help, but emotionally, I did it anyway. And perhaps it's hereditary because my grandmother did the exact same thing. Only she did it really badly. She went into over $1 million in debt, and no one found out about it until after she passed away. So, there was that. So perhaps I've inherited something like that from my grandmother. Just a little bit. So, I made a deal with myself then. I was like, all right, I buy something, I've bought it, regret or not. Now I don't get to go off and just sell it or anything like that. Now I've sold maybe just a few things in my life. Usually it's just, I'll just give it away and gift it or whatever. And that's how that's going to be. A lot of wasted money. Well, one of the decisions I made was getting my license. And I convinced myself it wasn't for me, it was for my dad and his wife. Getting up there in age, stuff like that. And then I got a van. Got a camper van. Spent $25,000 on it. Convinced myself. It's not for me. It's so I can be there and use it as a bedroom, right? Fix it up a little bit more. I mean, it's already got most conversions, stuff like that. Just do a little more on it, and it'll be fine. Things happened. I brought the van back here. And then I get here and I get told, well, you can't keep it in the apartment complex because it's too high. I was told, well, it doesn't fit underneath the awning, the covered parking, so you can't have it. And they have plenty of vehicles that do not fit underneath the covered parking, and yet they're still here. Not as high as my van, okay, because my van does block some of the cameras and things like that. But an accommodation could have been made because I live here and this is my personal vehicle. An accommodation could have been made, but it wasn't made. For some reason, has zero problems, telling me what I can and can't do, but it has problems telling other people that they can't do what they're doing. You know what I mean? Can't seem to tell people that have a family of 5 living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they've got each one of them has a vehicle each, 4 to 5 vehicles, and it's only 1 vehicle per apartment. Yeah, they're like, oh, well, we'll just charge you more money. I'm like, they don't care. They're going to care when you charge $200 per vehicle. Then they will care. But anyway, so there's that. So I found a place to keep my vehicle. And then I decided that I was going, because I wanted to make the build that I have better, right? Because I noticed a lot of things, it's falling apart, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't think this is a solid build if all you're going to do is, well, it's solid for someone else. It's not solid for me. So I decided, well, I'm going to get a better build. Again, I paid $25,000 for this. And yesterday, I just wired $54,430 to Tommy Van Campers to gut everything out and redo everything with better insulation, a better carpentry build, and things like that. And I'll have like a shower in the back, and I'll have a little water heater for that, you know, just in case. I don't have to have a water heater, but I was like, you know what, I might want that, you know, I might just want that little bit of heat for that water, you know. Hell, I don't have a running sink, but I can take my shower head and have hot water in a cup, you know, if I need like a lot of hot water, you know, for like washing dishes, stuff like that. Oh, I could wash dishes in the back of my van, you know. There you go. I just need the sink to wash my hands. That's it. It's all I really need the sink for, is to hold things like produce and stuff that I've washed, and to wash my hands. That's it. That's all I need it for. I don't need it for anything else. So anyway, and I have started thinking, oh, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe this is the wrong time. Maybe I need to wait. You know, what if things break down the van, you know, and I need money to pay for that. I still have to pay taxes on the money and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, what have I done? What have I done? And then I take a moment and I'm like, okay, part of me wants to chuck everything and just live out of the van. And the other part of me is like, yeah, but, you know, I still have to have a home of record. You know, I'm established where I'm at. I mean, I don't have when I say established, I have a VA here that I go to, and I've got my dental stuff and everything. And that, for me, is established. I don't have an employment right now, which I will be getting soon. So, then I started thinking, well, I'm going to live out of my van and have a storage unit, but I don't want to do that because it's not set up for like a long-term, for me, not some kind of long-term, you know, live out your van all the time, you know? I don't really want to do that. It's a novelty idea for the younger me that says, hey, you could save so much money, stuff like that. But then I have to worry about a lot of things. You know, I still got to worry about stuff, but you know, it's different when you're being a nomad, you know. And I like the idea of being a nomad. The actuality of it, I'm not so sure about. Again, you're thinking, why did you do this? You know. I don't know. I really don't know. I know I'm not giving it away. I'm not selling it. It is mine. 100% mine. There are no liens. There are no payments. I have insurance on it, you know. It is 100% my vehicle. Okay? So, that being said, then I started thinking, well, I can't sit here and afford an apartment, and then my van has to be stored somewhere else. I can't afford that long term. there's no way. I moved here so that I could save money and be able to not have to work 40 hours a week, and stuff like that. I could just work part-time, have my VA, and just live a very simple life, So then, and I don't want to live in my van, I like going out on trips in it. I like that. Going out for a week or two. I could do a week or two, stuff like that. At least I think I could. But living in it, I don't want to do that. So then I started thinking, well, I might have to find another place to live. Because I thought, I'll downsize my apartment to a studio apartment, which they have studio apartments here. They're about $800. And a studio apartment anywhere else is going to be $800 plus. If it's less than that, it's pretty much a room in a house. And I don't want to live with people. Me and roommates, we don't get along. So there's that, And then it comes to the point, where to move to, where to live, what to do. You know what I mean? And it's very daunting, It's very daunting. So right now I've decided, you know what? The only thing I have to focus on is downsizing my apartment. And really downsizing, And once I get that guy downsized, and the idea is to have enough for a small studio apartment, And then wherever that studio apartment is, I can fit my van. Those are the stipulations. I need to fit my stuff. I need to be able to have my van there. Those are the stipulations for finding another place to live. Where that's going to be at, I don't know. I'm not at that place right now. So today, for Christmas, I am going to sit here, have my coffee. I went to Circle K to get some half and half because I don't have any. I ran out of milk yesterday, and I didn't know if the milk, because I get raw milk, right? So I didn't go to the store yesterday. I stayed. No, wait, I didn't stay home yesterday. Yesterday I went to the bank to do the things, and I got some Madeline, lovely goodies. I had the chocolate one last night for a little snack. It was really good with my tea, and this one's with my coffee. So anyway, point of the story is I went next door and I got some half and half there. I was like, well, I'm gonna pay $2. Might as well just get a full cup of it and have at least half and half for the next 2 days, so I can have coffee today and coffee tomorrow morning. And while I'm over here getting my lovelies, I saw maybe a Catholic priest. I don't know if he was Catholic or not. He definitely had the black robes and the cassock and everything. He was definitely of some silver wisdomy years in the head, and he looked so not happy, like he was just being drained of life. And so I gave him a lovely cheery good morning, he's like, morning, didn't even look up, and then I started humming, and get my things and stuff, and I leave, and as I'm going across the street, and I'm like, I'm wearing a shirt that says bringer of sadness, this face on it. And I'm like, well, that's a choice, that is a choice. And things like that, oh my goodness, all the things, bro, all the things. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just had to laugh. I had to laugh so hard because I had a man of the cloth next to me just trying to get his coffee and stuff. And I'm, hey, how's it going? Or whatever. And I'm wearing this shirt on a Christmas day as a bringer of sadness. You can't make this up, bro. You just can't. So I'm in line and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I hope all these guys have a good holiday. I just hope they have just a good day. And the little manager was there. She's coming to fill up the half and half because I had pretty much taken it all, what was left. I was like, I feel bad, and I'm going to be paying $2 for this anyway, so I'm going to get my money's worth, bro. Sort of, kind of. And she's like, well, how's your Christmas going? And I said, well, it's going. It's not too bad. Didn't have any milk for my coffee, so come over, figured, So I'm going to pay for it. Might as well get a full thing of milk. She said, all right. I said, I don't have to go to work today, you know. I've got food I made yesterday, so all I have to do is just heat it up. I would have had food anyway, but this way I just got to heat it up, and stuff like that, and I'm good. I have a roof over my head, a warm place to live, a safe place to live, and things like that. And I just gotta say that in itself it's more than just a blessing. You know what I mean? That is something to be so grateful for. And to take that for granted would be, for lack of a better word, sacrilegious, To take for granted what I have, what I've earned, what I've worked for, and what was gifted to me. I'm out here in this lovely little backdrop that I made. I've got dummy wrapped presents, of empty Amazon boxes. I've got 2 Amazon Christmas trees with some lights and some, Christmas balls on them and stuff, like ornaments on them, that my landlord said, hey, yeah, you can decorate this little area and stuff, and to be able to sit here and have a nice liminal space where I can just be comfortable. And even though the backdrop is not what my home looks like, it's okay. It is okay. Because there are people out there that don't even have this. There are people out there on the streets by choice or not by choice. There are refugees being brought into the United States. Everyone's like, oh, they're doing all the things. They're being brought in. They're being separated. And they're being kept in cages. It's not a house. Like that. Wire fencing in a parking lot with a cover, around the edges, and just the only covered place is where you get to go to the bathroom, and maybe have a kitchen. So a bathing place, a pooping place, and a kitchen. And you're with a bunch of other people. Not because you wanted to be, because that's where you were placed. And what's that for? That is for having legal slaves. People talk about undocumented people coming in. It's like, if you know about them, then they're not undocumented. They are documented. You know where they are. If they're undocumented, it means you don't know where they are. You don't know how many there are because you don't know. When they're documented, you know. How can you know about something that has not been documented, that does not exist, right? When something doesn't exist or a person doesn't exist, legal slavery, It's a thought, guys. And you have a felon that will never see a cell wall, was brought up on anyway, all the things. The heinous crimes. You just know. And the people that support it, they want to do that to other people. They call themselves good people. But when you support someone who is giving you hate and discontent and destruction and wants war with other people, that right there says you want war. You want your neighbors to be destroyed so you can take advantage of their land. You can take advantage of their property. You can take advantage of their children. And no one wants to see themselves as that, and yet that is what is being supported, whether you like it or not. You know? The time for backtracking that? There probably isn't a backtrack. There probably isn't. I say write your Congress if you don't like what's going on. I'm going to say I'm glad I don't have children, because I would lose my ever-loving mind, especially a daughter. Some little pissant would get my daughter knocked up and say that her body is his to do whatever the fuck he wants? Oh no, bro. I can't even tell you the horrible things that would happen to that human being. And I'm a peace-loving person. But I'll tell you right now, if I were a mother, if I had children, it would not be a good day. So, and I don't want to be that person. I choose to not be that person. I choose to not support those thoughts. But that's me. Unfortunately, when we hit our 250th anniversary, this will not be the United States that was the dream. It won't be the United States that was the hope of freedom, the idea of freedom, because we were never free. When you're told you owe someone money, you owe someone your labor, you owe someone your children, you're not free. You're never free. And you will never be free. I will never be free. But that time is leaving. There are about to be a lot more homeless people out there. There are going to be more born. If the felon has his way, your child being born won't be a citizen. Your child being born will be born into slavery, because they haven't earned the right to be a citizen. Think about that. I want you to think long and hard about that. Anyone who supports that, you're living a pipe dream of privilege. Being an American citizen is a privilege that you're born into. You didn't have to earn it, you have to work for it. You know? People who come in who become a citizen, they had to work for it and they had to earn it. Their children, they are born here, don't have to work for that privilege because their parents did. My great-great-great-grandparents did. You know? It's something to really think about on a day where next Christmas will not be the same as this one. The next birthday, the next new year, 2026, 2025 will be very, very different. Very different. And I cry for it, and I mourn for it, which is one of the reasons why I'm outfitting the van, so that I can be able to make it on my own if my VA goes away. Because working a 40-hour job doesn't pay the rent and get your groceries and pay for a phone bill and the electricity, which goes up all the time. So, that being said, I hope everyone enjoys their day. I hope everyone enjoys what freedom you have now. And I hope everyone gets what they most want, whatever that is. If you most want destruction and hate, you'll get it. And you're going to get it towards yourself. Those who want compassion and love and unity, I want you to get those too. And you'll get those. And that will be brought to you. As long as we give, we'll receive. That's kind of how that works, right? Anyway, go forth, live your best life, and enjoy everything that is secure and safe now. Because it might not be later. Peace out, bros.